Welcome back to Operation Game Table. I'm Alex, and today I'm counting down my top 50 greatest games of all time. These are games that keep me coming back to the table, whether for their exciting theme, engaging mechanics, or just incredible player experiences. Starting at number 50 and working our way to the top, I'm going to go over a little bit about each game, what the game's about, who you play as, how you win, who the game might be for, and who the game might not be for. Let's start off with number 50, Caesar, Seize Rome in 20 minutes. In this tiny little game is immense strategy, simple rules, short playing time. You're playing as rival generals fighting for control of the Roman Empire. You win by dominating key regions on the map by strategically placing your tokens to outmaneuver your opponent. It's a short yet brain-burning game of area control and bluffing. This game is for fans of fast, tactical two-player games like Undaunted or War Chest. And moving on to number 49, we've got Diplomacy. This has been one of my favorite games since I was a kid. I love this game. You are playing as leaders of major powers pre-World War I. You win by dominating Europe. You have to use alliances, negotiation, and strategic tactics. It's got simple rules, but the negotiation and the strategy is deep, and there's going to be some betrayal. It's fun because of the player interaction. You can get up to 7 players in this game, and everyone's going to be fighting for control of the map. You can't be friends with everybody, so each round is going to be tense and unpredictable. Who's going to backstab you? I'm going into Spain, and I asked for you to support me into Spain, but I also asked for you to support me into England. Who am I really going for? Am I really going into Spain? Am I really going into England? Who's supporting me? Who am I betraying? Who's betraying me? This game is great for groups who enjoy heavy negotiation and don't mind a little bit longer game. My number 48 is 7 Wonders. You're playing as leaders of ancient civilizations building wonders of the world. You're going to gather resources, develop your city, construct your wonder to earn the most points. It's a quick, elegant drafting game. This game is great for players looking for a smooth, easy to teach game. It plays 3 to 7 players, so it works well for larger groups. My number 47 is Cascadia. In Cascadia, you're playing as nature conservationists, creating harmonious ecosystems. This is a tile placement game. You're going to be placing tiles and tokens in certain ways to maximize your points. The puzzle-like gameplay is relaxing and deeply satisfying. Who's going to like this game are fans of tile placement games like Carcassonne who want a more nature-focused experience. This is my number 46 game of all time. This is Dominion. It's a big box because I've got the big combination of Dominion and Dominion Intrigue, and there's a whole lot of other expansions that you can get to put in this box too, so this will hold pretty much everything that you can fit Dominion related. When you think deck building, this is pretty much the first game that most board gamers think of is Dominion. This is the epitome of deck building. This is the one that's pretty much started it all, or perfected it best. You're playing as medieval lords building kingdoms. You win by building an efficient deck that gains you the most victory points. It's fun because it's simple, but there's such a variety of card combinations. Every time you open this game, you can pick different combinations of cards, so every game's gonna be different, but it's the same simple mechanics. It's a fresh game every time. Who's it for? This game is for deck building enthusiasts and anyone looking for a classic streamlined card game. This is not for people looking for player interaction. So if that's what you're looking for, this might not be the game for you. All right, is it getting hot in here? Because my number 45 game is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. In this game, you're playing as race car drivers racing around a track, and you gotta be careful because if you take that turn too fast, you're gonna burn up. Your engine's gonna get too hot, you're gonna blow up, you're gonna run off the road. You're gonna have to start back over somewhere. This is an exciting game. Heat, Pedal to the Metal. has deck building mechanics, and you're racing around a racetrack, trying not to get too much heat. You have to balance risk and speed to cross the finish line first. The thrill of managing your engine's heat adds tension to every turn. Who's this game for? Anyone who loves racing games and that element of push your luck mechanics. Can you stand that one more heat to make it around this turn? Players looking for the deep strategy in games might find this to be a little light. My number 44 favorite game is also a hot game. At least it looks hot when you look at the box. Look at that dice. It's on fire. All right, what game is this? This is Dice Throne. I like all the Dice Throne games. I think they're great games. They're real easy to get to the table. Everything comes in its own little container. You just open it up, you're ready to play. You're playing as unique heroes, battling in one-on-one duels. You're going to win by using your hero's unique abilities. This is basically battle Yahtzee. So each player has their own abilities, and you're throwing dice, and based on your Yahtzee combination of dice and your own player special abilities, you're going to be doing damage, or you might be healing yourself. You might be doing different things. You're basically battling the other person, and whoever gets the other player down to 0 health first wins. There's just such a variety of heroes. You play real quick, and then you put that hero back, and you grab another hero, and you play again. Some people like to play more defensively or offensively. There's different special abilities. There's a Marvel version of this game. Real quick, here's the Marvel Dice Throne if you wanted to see that one. This is not for players who don't like luck. There's a lot of dice chucking in this game, and this is a lot of luck, so if you're looking for a little bit more strategy, this might not be the game for you. All right, and now number 43, Unmatched Adventures, Tales to a Maze. You're playing as heroes battling iconic foes. You're either going to be Nikola Tesla or the Golden Bat, Annie Christmas, Jill Trent. You're gonna battle a Martian invader or the Mothman. This is a great series of games. I put Unmatched, Tales to a Maze. I'm also putting like the whole Unmatched series in this spot. I didn't want to have different locations for that. This is just Unmatched in general. I do like the cooperative version best. Each player picks a hero. The action mechanic is card-based, and you're moving around a map and you're trying to fight the bad guy using your cards, which have either offensive capabilities, defensive capabilities, combat abilities, or just an instant ability moving you around the map. You gotta win by outsmarting your opponent using your unique deck, your unique card abilities for your hero. This game kind of works for all players, really, unless you're looking for a heavy Euro game. Another great thing about this game is all the asymmetric abilities. Every single hero has a different deck. All of the decks feel very thematic with the hero. A lot of fun. All right, and that brings us to number 42, Undaunted Normandy. I haven't played any of the other Undaunted series. In Undaunted Normandy, you're playing as World War II commanders leading your troops into battle. You have to win by completing your mission objectives while managing your deck of cards. So this is a deck building game. Who's this for? Fans of history games like Memoir 44. It blends deck building with tactical gameplay and a little bit of dice in a fresh way. Who this game might not be for are people who find the randomness of the card draws frustrating. Sometimes you're looking for that card that you need and it's just not coming. That can be frustrating. If you enjoy Memoir 44, you would definitely enjoy a game like this. All right, and now 41. This is a game that surprised me a little bit. Raccoon Tycoon. I can't believe this is so high up on my list. But this really is a good game. I really do enjoy playing it. It's a economic type game. You're playing as animal entrepreneurs running a bustling economy. You have to manage resources, build towns, build trains, and try to earn the most money. The auction and market mechanics of this game create plenty of exciting moments. Who's this game for? It's going to be for fans of economic games who like a charming theme. I mean, look, it's a freaking raccoon holding a lantern. How cute is that? My kids love this game. And I actually find I really enjoy this game as well. Who's not going to like this game? It is relatively light on strategy for heavy gamers. So if you're a heavy gamer looking for a heavy game, this probably is not the one for you. This is more light medium. And this brings us down to the number 40 game, Splender Duel. Little tiny game, a lot of fun. If you like Splendor or if you like Seven Wonders Duel, those are the two creators that got together to make this game, Splendor Duel. You're playing as competing merchants in the Renaissance striving for prestige. This is basically the dual version for Splendor. So you win by collecting cards and gems to build a powerful engine to get the most prestige points first, and you win. The tighter focus on 2 players creates more tension and interaction. This is for fans of Splendor who want a more intimate and competitive experience. If you have larger groups, just play the regular Splendor. This is for a smaller group, just 2 people. Alright, my number 39 game is Thunder Road Vendetta. This is basically Mad Max, the board game. If you're a fan of Mad Max, you're gonna like this game. You're playing as post-apocalyptic drivers racing across this road battlefield. How do you win? Be the last car still remaining and the first one across the finish line. You have to outlast and outmaneuver your opponents, claim victory on the open road. Why is this fun? This is high-octane chaos. There's guns, there's helicopters, you're rolling dice, you're shooting, you're blowing up other cars. It's just exciting. Who's gonna like this game? Fans of Mad Max or games like Gaslands? So who's not gonna like this game? People who wanna have control over everything. This has a lot of randomness in it and the crash mechanics and the dice. So if you like having control over what's going on, this might not be the game for you. This is more of just a roll some dice, high octane chaos at its finest. Mad Max, the board game. I love it. My number 38 game is Onama. Onama is like a little mini chess game. Each person gets a card. You have a couple of cards out there and you're trading these cards and you use these cards to actually do your chess moves in the game. It's fun. If you like abstract games, if you like chess or Hive, this is gonna be a good game for you. You're playing as samurai masters or some type of martial arts master, and you've got some pawns and you've got your masterpiece. And in order to win, you have to either capture the other person's master or get your master into the other person's temple. It's super fun, elegant game mechanics. It's one of those games that's just so simple, but it works perfectly. Because it's an abstract game, players that are looking for more theme might not like the game, but I think that they do really well just with the artwork for this game to make it feel thematic. And that's Onama, my number 38. All right, and my number 37. Favorite game of all time is Meso. Now, this might be one that not a whole lot of people have heard of, but this is a very fun game. You're playing as Mayan gods, controlling your tribes. Your tribes are erecting temples, pyramids to worship you, and you're using your god powers. Every single god has different powers. It's asymmetric abilities. You have to use your divine powers to dominate key regions on the board. There's strategic area control. This game's definitely for fans of area control. If you like games like Blood Rage, then you would love a game like this. Meso is really fun to play. Who this might not work for is people that don't want to play a too complex game. This does have a little bit of complexity in it. The mechanics of the game are a little difficult to grasp at first, but once you start playing it, it is a ton of fun. And that's Meso, my number 37. My number 36 game is A Song of Ice and Fire. This is a tabletop miniatures game. You're playing as noble houses fighting for control of Westeros, a Game of Thrones universe. This is based off of the novels by George R.R. Martin. It's got deep strategy, stunning miniatures, and I'm just gonna show you a couple of my minis because I love painting minis and I don't have enough time to do it. Great. So there's one there, really cool minis. I even won a painting competition at my local game store for painting this weirwood tree, which is on the size of one of the templates of the weirwood tree. And it's just so cool. I put the little mushrooms up there. Just really neat, really fun thematic game. So you put all your guys out on the table, you're battling. I've got the giants here. These are the free folk giants, and everybody's gonna have a different clan, and you're gonna battle against their army versus your army, see whose army wins. Really fun game. You gotta be a fan of tabletop games to like this. If you are thinking you might be a fan of tabletop games, I would recommend you start with something like Star Wars X-Wing first. That's a good starter tabletop game to get into before you try one like this. But this is still, even on its own, as a starter game before you delve into something deeper like Warhammer 40K. I've never even played that. So It's a lot to learn, but there's deep strategy, stunning miniatures, thematic gameplay, immersive universe. My number 35 favorite game is Wormspan. Wormspan is kind of a sequel to Wingspan, but it's not the same game. It's not just a different IP slapped on the same game. This, I feel like, is a better version of Wingspan. This gets rid of a lot of the elements in Wingspan that I didn't like, and I really loved Wingspan. Now, I don't have both Wingspan and Wormspan on my list. I only picked one to put on my list, and I chose Wormspan because the mechanics of the game work a little bit smoother than Wingspan. But in this game, you're playing as dragon keepers, trying to entice dragons to come live in your cave. You have to excavate your cave, create a space for your dragon to come live in your cave, and then try to optimize. It's a tableau building game, and you're trying to get the most points at the end of the game based on getting the best dragons that give you the best points depending on their special abilities. It's got some engine building mechanics in there, and a little guild track, a dragon guild track. So there's lots of different ways to try to get points. Tons of replayability because every time you play, you can set it up a little bit differently to go for different goals that will make your gameplay different and fresh every time. Who doesn't like dragons? And there's even baby dragons. So my wife loved this game because there's cute little baby dragons. Kids are gonna love this game. This is great. And my number 34 is Civilization, A New Dawn. This is Sid Meier's Civilization. I think this is the best. Of course, I just got through the Ages. I haven't played through the Ages, so I'm excited to see. I know that's a Civ builder, lots of cards. Because I haven't played that game, this is, in my opinion, the best Civilization game out there. I like the map. I like the card drafting mechanic where the card slides down, which this game came out before Ark Nova. Ark Nova does the same thing. In Civilization, you're playing as leaders of ancient civilizations striving for world domination. You win by advancing your military, your technology, your culture, just like the old computer game Sid Meier's Civilization. If you like that computer game, you're gonna like this game. The streamlined mechanics make it a faster, more accessible take on classic Civ games. My number 33 favorite board game of all time is Vid Culture. Specifically, I've got the Vid Culture Essential Edition here, but I also have the Vid Culture World Expansion, which takes the Essential Edition, basically turns it into a cooperative game. In Vid Culture, you're playing as vineyard owners trying to grow the best grapes to make the best wine and get the most points at the end of the game to win. It's a worker placement game. You're using worker placement to fulfill wine orders and earn the most points. Thematic integration and strategic decisions make this immersive and rewarding experience that's just hard to beat. Who's this game for? This game is for any fan of worker placement and wine. This is more of like a slow, relaxing, chill worker placement game. This is not fast-paced. My number 32 favorite game of all time is a solo game. This is Legacy of You. Excellent game, love it. It's worker placement, it's resource management. When you first start playing this game, you have hardly any resources, and then towards the end of the game, you've got such a nice engine going that you have tons of resources coming in, but you still don't know if it's enough because those raiders are coming in. In this game, you're playing as You, which is the name of the character in Legacy of You, trying to build these canals before a flood comes. And you have to build all 6 of these canals. If the flood hits you before you've built the next canal, then you lose. If the barbarians are attacking you and there's too many barbarians, then you lose. So you have to really balance your strategy and your resource management and get townsfolk to help you and build your buildings in such a way. It's a puzzle, deep thinking strategy, crunchy Euro type worker placement puzzle game that is just so rewarding when you feel your engine working right, but it's so tense because any card could make or break your game and make you lose. And every time you win, the game throws something in there to make it harder for you the next time. If you lose a game, then it's going to throw something in there to make it easier for you the next time. Great game, love it, can't say enough good things about it. Legacy of You, my number 32. All right, and now we're to my number 31 favorite game of all time. This is a newer game. This is Endeavor Deep Sea. I had a blast playing it. I think it's really neat. I like the gameplay mechanics, and I haven't figured it out yet. So maybe that's part of the reason why it's so high up on my list, is because I want to try to figure it out. You're playing as underwater explorers uncovering marine secrets. You're trying to clean up the ocean. You're doing things to help the environment, but you're also discovering things, and you get more people in your crew. The people in your crew help you out so that you can explore more. The more you explore, the more you do, the more points you get, and you see who has the most points at the end. Fans of exploration and modular strategy games are going to like this. It might feel a little bit too complex for casual gamers. This is a little bit more of a thinky game to try and figure it out. So I'm excited about this game. Can't wait to play it more.